Hi, good day, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
Please, sir, can you
Thank you very
introduce
much.
yourself and tell us more about yourself?
My name is Adewoye Daniel, and let's say, a final year dental student, or done with my final exams though. Um, I've been the vice president of Redeemed Christian Fellowship in Medondo. I've also served as the prayer coordinator and also brothers coordinator. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, I want to ask a few questions. I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind, sir. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. My first question is, what did you know about RCF before you joined? Like, before you entered Unimed, what did you know about RCF? I'm sure you had. You are you okay? First question: Are you a pastor's kid? And what have you heard about RCF even before joining? Then, what was your expectation, and what did you find when you joined RCF?
Okay. I was privileged to go to a redeemed school where we had at one point in time leadership from fellowships nearby the school. I went to Redeemers International Academy. So I always had the envision that any university I'm going to, I was going to be part of the RCF, I was going to serve. And let's see, I don't know whether to say I'm a pastor's kid or not. My mom presently is a pastor, but then is there here not there? But then, like, I call myself a pastor's kid, sha, and I had great expectations. But when I got here, there was no RCF Unimed, so we had to stay with RCF Academy for a while till God started the project RCF Unimed Ondo.
When did you RCF Unimed later come in?
Okay, it came I think about a year plus after. We were having Sunday service, and all of a sudden, now that RCF Academy, all of a sudden we discovered that RCF Unimed has started. We didn't like it initially because we felt like we have been part of the project. But then when God is doing something, does not consult any man. So and that was how the God's project of RCF Unimed started that particular Sunday.
Oh wow, we bless God for that. We really do. So, if there is a fresher, if you meet a fresher right now, how will you describe RCF Unimed's culture to the person? So, the person is coming to Unimed or RCF for the first time. How will you describe RCF to the person?
Okay, that's a very, very, very wonderful question. I would like to answer the question in different forms. I would like to answer that number one, RCF is a place of love, and love is our culture. So I don't even have to really, really want to know you, but as long as you are part of the family, there is a level of love that I have for you. Number two is excellence. That will try as much as possible to put in our best in everything we are doing in all facets of our lives. Number three is that there is a doctrine of there is a sound doctrine of word and a sound doctrine of prayer too. So everything incorporated together, still incorporated into love, and the fact that we are solid in whatever area we put our focus or attention to. I think I've answered that question.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, I want to ask you a question, and I know that you served as the vice president. You said you served as the brother squad and prayer squad. What can you describe service to me? And I'll give you an example. I saw a video somewhere, and the person talked about that if you see in a campus fellowship students running by 7 a.m. most times, they are most likely an RCF member because they have to make workers meeting. So, what has RCF shaped in you? What has RCF, when it comes to sacrifice and service, what has RCF done to you?
I think for the very first time in my life, RCF taught me sacrifice. Um, I learned sacrifice, not only a surface level of sacrifice, but a level of sacrifice of when it's not comfortable, when it looks impossible, you still want to keep trying. I remember there was a particular time where we were using St. Agnes, and we had issue of theft, and we had to start putting our instruments in the president or the president of that time of that no will me the favor was put in his house. He was staying upstairs. Sometimes we have to wake up as early as 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I have to wake up, get to his house, pack the instrument downstairs inside motorcycle that time, take it to church, arrange it, sweep the church, arrange it. Then you will now see a worker coming around after 8, after going through that particular day like that. Then after service again, we'll have to pack it back, then pack it to his house, then pack it upstairs. So it was, and even though whether you are tired, you are strong, you are happy, you are sad, the cycle goes on, and we just have to do these things just because it's our father's work, and we did it with everything we had.
Wow, we when I for me, I would just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you, well
Thank
done.
you very
So,
much, sir.
what's one or two stories you even be telling your children about RCF? What's one story or two, one or two stories you can share with us that even you'll be telling your children even after when you give birth? Like one story or two stories about service, about RCF, you keep telling every single time.
Okay, I'm going to be telling them the power of prayer. I'm going to, and I'm going to give them. I'll be sharing the example. Um, so many things that we prayed for during our time, the answers came whether during our tenure, or we were able to see some of the answers before we left school. I can remember those times whereby we sit down, we stay overnight in church, Saturday, crossover to Sunday, and we're just praying. We are praying that Lord increase the fellowship, Lord increase, enlarge our coast, Lord bless us. We didn't know where help was coming from. We didn't know where people were going to come from, because we didn't have what it takes. We didn't have the sounds, the chairs, but suddenly things begin to happen. Ways, doors begin to open. Mountains and limitations begin to, they were being lifted. So I think number one is the power of prayer. Number two is the ability to start when it even seems impossible. You understand? When God has given you a vision, when God has given you an assignment, you don't have to have everything ready. You just have to kickstart. Start like that. So God has given you a vision, start a project. Don't worry about the resources. If God has said it, He will do it. That's not, it's not a man that He
Mm,
should lie.
mm.
So when He gives you an assignment, start. Even when the resources are not available, the to carry out the assignment. What I've learned is that start blindly as long as it's God that has said it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. I want to ask another question, just something related to that. What is the most powerful thing you witnessed in RC, ever happened in RCF? A testimony, a move of God, a moment that really proved that God was in RCF. Like one thing that really, really made you know that God was in RCF.
Okay, I can remember some. I think when I was in pathology and pharmacology and also serving that time. I was reading in the middle of the night, and suddenly I felt a nudge. Message, they said, musical director. I said, Sister Femi, I want you to pray. Something's about to happen this Sunday. Something great is about to happen this Sunday. And I said she should. I asked her to do some things based on the instruction that was given to me. And because as of that time, I really wanted a move of God in the fellowship. I wanted people to not just to come to fellowship just because it's just RCF, but because they should be expectant that when they come to the fellowship, there is something that they carry home. So it has been a cry in my heart that time. So I think based on that cry, God decided to answer. So this was the level of instruction, and that was our first worship Sunday. I think that first or second worship Sunday. And suddenly in that service, there was a spout of the move of God. And I was like, wow. So immediately that happened, that brought me to a level of realization that there is the presence of God is made available to those that are ready to amass the presence. So if you are ready to be an atmosphere of His presence, there's a level that can be deposited, and there's a level of power that can also be given to you as much as you want. Your hunger of your heart determines how much you can receive. So I learned that.
Okay, wow, wow, what a powerful move of God. But in your 7 6 7 years plus of being RCF, what's your I want to ask, what's your biggest or your favorite meeting or program in RCF? What has been your favorite meeting or program in RCF since for over 6 years? Just if you're to pick one.
Wow, that's a very very difficult question. That's a very very difficult question. Um, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I I will say a lot of our Thanksgiving services, and not just because of the dancing, not because of, but because of, especially during our time, Thanksgiving was always a level of opening of portals for us, because by the time those praises go home, for those that are sensitive to spirit knows that anytime we do Thanksgiving like that, it is not just jamboree for us. By the time we praise, it's a level of portal opening, and there's a lot of access that we get. A lot of, me personally, I know so many things that has happened during Thanksgiving service. So it's always a mind shifting, life shifting time for us. When we praise God, we dance as if we don't care. We dance with all our sorrows, whatever we're going through, with pedigree or whatever you have. You understand? And we just give God the best shot of our praise.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So what's one program or tradition in RCF that you think should never end?
Hmm. One program. I think number one. I think those that question I can pick it. Let's say number one for the culture. I think family song should always be intentional. Family song should always, at any cost, that should be a information that will pass from one generation to the other. Family song should be intentional. And for programs, I think worship Sunday, worship Sunday, worship Sunday, worship Sunday. And for no particular reasons, but I think that program should also be maintained, should keep on. There's a way it brings us into that atmosphere and prepare us for what is next.
Oh wow. So I believe that worship Sunday actually all is always a blessing to you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So if one last question before we go on, and I want to ask this question. If someone asks you, like if someone wants to ask you that why RCF and not other fellowship, what would have been your answer? Like why you in RCF? Why not any other fellowship? There are many fellowships on campus, many churches around campus, but why RCF? Like why did you decide RCF?
Uh, Honestly, like for many other people, I didn't have a conviction. All I just had was just a childhood dream of saying I must be in RCF. So it was always a dream that I wanted to serve in RCF. So whether come rain, come sunshine, I knew I was going to be in RCF. So there was no other option. There was no other. As a matter of fact, even though UCCF has been for a while, I find it very hard to even attend UCCF. Even days where I was attending RCF, just because my mind was made up right from secondary school that I was going to Redeemed Christian Fellowship, and there was nothing that was going to change that.
Oh wow. Oh wow. It's a quick question. Now relating to your medical field and everything, I want to ask, um, how has your 5 to 7 years as a health professional or a medical student shaped how you see suffering, life, and death?
Hmm. Um, I had a first take on seeing death while as a young boy, because I lost my father at a very young age, and one of the consequences of that is that I had a hardened heart to death. I was speaking to my mom some years back, and I said, since that period, I don't really have empathy for people that die again, and it took a very long time. But when I entered into the profession, I had to learn the balance, because one of the things that help you in healthcare is that you must have empathy, must have compassion, join together with the level of the number of things that go on. So one of the things that happened to me is that I've had to learn the balance of empathy and how to do after when you lose a patient. So what the dental has taught me is the balance, ability to be able to have empathy and also know that life comes and go, and if you don't take care of it, you might as well lose it too.
Okay, okay. So I know that you've been about around the hospital world a lot, and you've related with people, senior colleagues, and all. What I want to ask you a question about how you view the miraculous and the supernatural, being that many a times most I know that many Christian doctors and dentists believe in, oh, that God can heal, but my question to you is, do they truly believe, or they feel that without their effort nothing can be done about this, that without them, that even if God wants to do something, he needs them? So what's your view on, as a dentist or a medical professional, and the supernatural, that can God go out of his way, and you have a testimony to heal somebody, and without the need of a doctor, or God needs the doctors to do that, and doctors feel that without them God cannot?
I think it goes both ways. God can do without the doctor, and God can use the doctor. And the ability to understand that God can work in both ways, you understand, will not make you neglect any of the two. So, number one, you are conscious that God can do it himself, and you are conscious that God can also use man to bless man. So, for example, now, as a matter of fact, I might not know this story, but I've been told quite a number of times. You understand? So, for those that understand, I was giving birth to let me use the layman term. I was giving birth to deck. So, and for some quite a number of minutes, there was no oxygen, nothing. For medical students, the APCA score was very low because I was not reacting to anything, to pain, to anything. So one of the doctors was even pronounced dead. But suddenly, a nurse entered into the hospital and she said, "Why don't we go one more time? Why don't we try one more time?" And for someone who has learned, I've learned that was not just an ordinary saying. It was a divine instruction. And that one time gave me a last chance, and here I am today. So I understand that both works hand in hand, but I think one of the mistakes that most people make is that they want to neglect the fact that God can use a man. So, and I think that's the first problem. So, even it's possible that you might be in the hospital setting and God can still do his way without the doctor. But number one is that you have to have a balanced understanding that whether through man or whether directly from God, I'm going to receive my healing. So I think that's the basis of that particular discussion.
Okay, sir. Please, sir, can you walk us through your academic journey? The high, the low, the turning point, times where you felt that you're in academic danger, as we'll call it in this school, times where you just felt like giving up, like I'm not doing this again, times where you felt like I'm the star boy of this class, I'm the best in presentations and all. Can you walk us through your academic journey?
Okay, I think let me start my academic journey was a very interesting one. So at the beginning, starting from admission, I didn't want to come to Unimed. My art was focused on OAU. Yes, always wanted to go to OAU or Adewoye University. But then I got admission here. I actually came to that post-term here just because if I went to a friend's house a day and he said he was going in the next 3 days, he's going for a post-term. I said, where are you going to go to post-term? He said, Ondo. I said, that was the first time I came to this school was right post-term here. So I went to post-term, I got the admission. Yeah, 100 level came. As usual, 200 level came. Then the whole thing started whereby I failed my first 3 courses, and what I mean, I failed woefully. And one of these days I called my mom and I said, I don't think I can do this again. And funniest thing is that my mom, I was expecting a very awkward answer to say, you went over me, but you know that this song. He said that when she asked him when did I want to go and take another jam. So I took another jam. But the real life we have it is that sometimes you don't get away with when there's trouble. Sometimes life wants you to face it squarely. Sometimes it wants you to refocus, it wants you to re-strategize, it wants you to redirect yourself. He wants you to understand your purpose.
Hmm.
So my post-it fell on the same day with I personally fell on the same day with my exam in school, and I had to choose between my exam the same day, same time, and the position was not even nearby. So I had to write my exam in school. One day I could not write the jam, and I had to make the decision that whatever it takes to finish this course, I'm gonna do it. And Naomi said, "You can see that God has made His final say that this is where you graduate." And I concluded in my mind that we're going to give it what it takes, and that's how it started. I started doing well, at least better than before, and started passing my courses, passed my first MB, passed my second MB, passed my third MB, passed my fourth MB. So passing became norms until I got to final year, and I had the first shock of my life. I had a clinical failure, and that really brought me down. Like it taught me that a 1 minute can be a determinant of your destiny. Like it taught me that, and every time you have to be ready, because it was just a mistake, and I was vetted, and that really taught me that, like, because after that kind of thing, what comes to your mind is what if I had. So I had to strategize, and I discovered that I have let me say I've relaxed a little. So I had to strategize, refocus, replan, then put in my best effort for my final exam. I want to say a very big thank you to Jesus Christ, God Almighty, that finally I'm done with dental school. I passed my final exam.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir. How was your spiritual life in that point where you had a clinical failure? How was your spiritual life?
I won't say it was the best, but then I have always had a notion and a belief that I don't have any other help. For someone that's coming from, I don't want to say it's disadvantaged background of not growing up with most of my life with my father, I had to learn that the only help I had was God. So even though I was in a very hard place, I was really battling the fact that I had to just find my way back to God and say, God, either you or you.
Okay. So I want to ask, do you have a study pattern, or do you study? Are you the kind of person that studied with friends? Did you study with friends during your school year, or how did you manage? How did you navigate? Because you said you had a lot of passing after. So how did you pass? What were your strategy?
I think I combined both. I had a friend group whereby we read together, and I also read on my own. So I think what I do is that I use my friends group to energize me, because whenever I go for discussion and they begin to say things that I've not read, it's to strategize. I know that okay, there's more to learn, there's more to read. So I'm no longer comfortable. I discover that when I am reading, I get comfortable with what I know. But when I'm going to go for discussion, I see what my mates are knowing, or what my mates are reading, or what they are discussing, or how much they understand the concepts. It brings me to a deeper, I want to know more. So I go back home again and I try to read more.
Okay, so I want to talk about community. Which set of people did you feel closer to while on campus? Was it your reading group or your RCF family?
Very nice. I don't want to. I think I was closer to none of them. Not really. I don't think I was closer to none of them. I think I had a friend outside this outside these two community of friends, and I think that was like the balance. And my friend was gifted mine, and that was the person like I had to share both the good, the bad, the spiritual, tools, whatever I think. So for both RCF and my reading, they were on the same level. When I'm in church, I'm in church. When I'm in class, I'm in class. I had like a way of being different places at different times. So I didn't really get closer to any of them like that, like the way I was supposed to. My friend.
So how did you manage relationships, your family, your friendships, and even romantic relationships while you were on campus and you still remain focused?
I think for a very chunk part of my um years in school, I was single. So let's remove the relationship part of the story. But for my family, I think we both have the same focus, whereby the focus is to get the best out of this degree and come out well. So whatever it takes, we work hand in hand to achieving that. So that made life easier with my family. Then for my friends, I had to lose a lot of friends on the way. It wasn't easy, and that was one of the reality shock I got in dental school. That you gain some, you lose some, and losing them might be very painful, might be unexpected, but then sometimes it's what it takes for you to move forward.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back to the friendship. So you said a large chunk of your dental school you were single. So what of the remaining chunk? Can you give us an overview of that, sir?
Okay, when I got to the when I got to the relationship, it was a long distance relationship. So I didn't really have much of that level of distraction because all we do is just chat and take calls, and I'm not even really a calling type, so I was not distracted. You understand? So we're always chatting, and I've always learned to always multitask with chatting. So there's never been an issue of distraction because it wasn't close by whereby I have to make time for dates, make time for seeing each other or something like that. So it wasn't, and it was very close when I was graduating. So that was not a problem.
Was is it that the relationship has ended?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, honestly, that was a mistake. But I am not. The relationship has not ended. Okay, the relationship has not ended, but I think I'm just speaking based on the fact that like throughout the process of the relationship, that's all I was referring to like when I was in school and I was also in a relationship. So that was why I was saying was when I was in school, both of them conjoined together. Not that I'm still in a relationship.
There might be somebody here watching that maybe is in a long distance relationship and is finding it hard to navigate. What will you advise and recommend for the person?
Let me firstly laugh first. I think for long distance relationship, one of the very most important things is communication. Like you can't remove it. Like the ability to be able to communicate properly, to be able to understand each other's feelings, to be able to talk things through. Because you know that now you're not seeing yourself. So some of the things that you guys are saying can be easily misunderstood. So you have to spend more time trying to break down or try to communicate properly, and you have to be the one that learns to, like, you have to communicate. Is very, very important. Then you have to make extra effort in communication. What I mean now, apart from communication, you have to make extra effort. That means you have to make time to it's not the usual seeing each other, so you have to try your best to make time to find a way to make the conversation better, find a way to make the conversation, try to bring things that will spice up the conversation. So that's a sacrifice on my part. I just don't want to, because it's not every day that you have something to say, but you have to find something to say. So I think communication basically is like one of the major ingredients of long distance relationship.
Oh, all right, sir. Thank you for your experience and your wisdom, sir. Thank you so much. So, who is one person that you would love to do a shout out to? Was that you couldn't have made it through these years without a minimum? Just one person. Well, if you had to shout out to one person, who would that one person?
Okay. I think I've mentioned one of my friends, but this particular one I would like to shout out to Olumuji Favor.
Oh,
And he mostly very helpful as a leader and as a friend, and he was of great help. And I want to say a very big shout out to everything he has achieved, everything he has helped me with, everything he stands for, and everything he's going to do in life.
shout out to Olumuji wherever he is. Thank you very much, sir. So, what is the dream you are leaving Unimed with and that you didn't arrive with? So, what's one thing that you didn't come to Unimed with, but you're leaving Unimed with one dream that.
Okay. One of my favorite saying is I want to be container carrying contents to continents. I think that was one thing I got from the school. I didn't bring that into the school. So I just came to study dentistry. I wanted to be a medical doctor. That was, but right now I now understand that I'm a global material for impact. So I'm ready to take this particular journey to this thing that I have, this thing that I know. I'm ready to take it as I learn more to every part of the world, every continent of the world, blessing life, impacting life, and also being a witness to.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. So, what are you most afraid of as you step out of school? What are you most afraid of, and what are you most expectant of?
I think what I'm afraid of is having a better yesterday. But I have a trust that as long as I keep standing in the will and promises of God, that there's nothing like a better yesterday. Even though as much as the fears at which the country and the economy put on us, you understand, I have a belief in the God that I've been serving, that I'm not going to have a better yesterday. Then one of my biggest expectations is that I'm expecting that it won't take time. That as soon as God has planned and has spoken, you understand, everything that has been said concerning me is coming to pass. There's a lot of instruction, a lot of divine instruction, a lot of prophetic instruction that has been given to me. I am so expectant of seeing the reality of it. I'm expectant of seeing the coming to life of so many things that God has told me about me.
All right, sir. So, money, influence, and impact. If you are to build one in the next 1 decade, which one will it be and why?
It's gonna be impact, and the reason why is because I think one of the greatest service you can do, both to the kingdom and to humanity, is impact. Impact is lasting. You throw money at people, you have money. It's just for a while. It's why you have money. Money has wings. Money can be temporal. Also, influence. As long as they don't gain from you, you understand, the influence begins to reduce. But you see what impact does is very, very lasting. Very lasting. Sometimes, even after money and influence has ended, what remains, what the residue of what keeps a lot of men is what they have, people, lives that they have impacted, systems that they have impacted, legacies that they have impacted. So impact is so far above the rank.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. So, what do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? 5 years.
Oh, let me firstly say, not in this country.
Okay.
Not in this country.
Okay.
So I see myself impacting life as a dental surgeon, ability to enter rooms whereby normally I would not be able to enter. But at the end of the day, the goal of being at that position will be to witness Christ. So one thing I'm saying myself in 5 years that my career, my life will have created access to which I can witness God on a higher ground.
Somebody, a leader currently serving fellowship, struggling with leadership, what advice would you give?
Okay, with my little experience is that number one, I will ask the leader if you understand what it takes to be a leader. So when I mean what it takes to be a leader, the place of service, the place of sacrifice, the place of serving people. So when it comes to the understanding of that, then I will ask the leader, do you have goals, do you have objectives, do you have vision? Because sometimes, even though you want to serve, you want to sacrifice, you understand, you must have a goal and objective where you are taking your people to. That's the goal of a leader. Just like the way Moses or Joshua was going to the promised land, you must have a destination, because that's what will direct you. That's what will keep you going, even the days that you are tired. So, two things is that number one, I will try as much as possible to make sure that I bring that person to an understanding of what leadership is. Number two, I want the person to define his goals and objectives as a leader and how he's going to achieve it.
Lastly, I'm leaving you the med and RCF with the hope that you are going to complete that. I'm leaving you the med and RCF with the hope that
Okay, I'm leaving RCF Unimed. We hope that by the next time I'm going to hear from the fellowship, maybe not even just hear, but that I'm going to be back, or that will be hearing from the fellowship. I will be hearing of greater things that God is doing, because just like it was said, that greater works than this shall you do. I'm hoping that by the time we're going to be hearing, they will be in their permanent sites, and the Lord will have built this fellowship into systems whereby it becomes a system, a defense system against the enemy in this Odo town. That there will be a territorial advantage. That anybody that comes to RCF is a territorial coverage, a territorial advantage, and there are results that commands what they say. That in RCF we no longer just preach it, but we see the results. We see the result of what is happening. So I'm also hoping that God also enlarge their coast, build them. That more than them being a family, they also become a nation.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sitting down and responding to our questions. We love you. See you.